All right. So, welcome, guys, to our SOMA MATER podcast. My name is Maria Clara, part of the SOMA MATER team. And today we're having our podcast straight from the Emirates Biofarm Organic Fest. And today we have the honor to have Lash here as our guest. And we're going to hop on to a few questions with her. So, thank you so much for being part, giving us your time. So, I'll just hop into the first question. So, the first question is, tell us a little bit about how the sourcing of the produce for Lila Taqueria happens, because I know you guys try to source a lot locally. Mm-hmm. That's your goal. Mm-hmm. So what led you to make that decision? Was it a pricing? Was it a quality thing?
Yeah, so when you're looking at Mexican food, which is what we make at all of our restaurants, it has a very specific set of ingredients that need to be used, or else the food starts to change. Specifically, certain kinds of tomatoes, tomatillos, green, related to sort of a ground cherry that has a papery husk on the outside. Yeah. Certain chilies, poblano chilies, jalapeno chilies, serrano chilies, habanero chilies, certain herbs, and they are pretty much exclusively available in Mexico. And if that changes, then the food changes. Mm-hmm. So it was really important when we opened the restaurants that I was either going to have to pay an arm and a leg and contribute tremendously to carbon footprint issues because of air freight, or I was going to figure out a way to grow it in the UAE. And the UAE actually has like a pretty Mexico-similar climate. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's much hotter in the summer, but when you go down to the base of the winter, it's sandy soil with lots of sunshine, which is similar.
Specifically the waters too, right?
And yes, exactly. Yeah. And specifically even the proximity to the ocean, specifically like the way that, we get hot during the day and cool at night, etc. Speaking about our growing season, which is November to May here, right? And so it was really, really, really important to develop relationships. And so I started about 3 years ago talking to farmers and saying, if I got you the seeds, will you grow these 10 ingredients for me? Right. And it went really well. And so that sort of has grown over we're now into our third growing season.
Amazing.
And it contributed food costs for sure. It's very expensive to pay for air freighted vegetables. And it definitely, obviously, feels much nicer to receive product at the back door in recycled farm crates and cardboard versus in plastic bags that have gone through radiation and customs, et cetera. But that also extends all the way through to low heat, pasteurized, non-homogenized milk from farmers here versus buying milk that can sit on the shelf because it's shelf stable. We buy fresh milk and we use it to make all of our sour creams and fresh cheeses.
Amazing.
We also, in Mexico, we don't have any relationship to cold water fish. You don't eat salmon in Mexico because it doesn't exist. So the same thing happens here. We work with all local, because the fish that's wild in the UAE is the same fish you eat in Mexico, which is red snapper. Hamor is called grouper. We call it huachinango, red snapper in Mexico. And the same types of prawns, shrimp, oysters, etc., because we get all that stuff here in the UAE. Mm-hmm. So we, all of this is really, really important because it's, first of all, the food tastes right. The food tastes correct because you're using the right ingredients. So yeah.
Amazing. Okay, perfect. And so have you faced any challenges with sourcing locally, or has that been a smooth journey? So I'm sure you have a lot to share.
A question. You must be patient and you must have a backup plan. That's all I can say is you have to be patient with them. You have to have a backup plan. It's not going to be like, we can only use this. Like you have to be able to
be flexible.
Yeah, you have to be flexible. Exactly. You have to be flexible. It's tough. I remember if, you guys were here a couple of years ago, we had a really crazy weather system in April of last year.
16th, I remember.
We all remember.
16th,
We're all of us that are here remember. And literally the entire farm washed away.
Oh, wow.
Like just gone. And we still would have had another month of seasonality, but it was all gone because it was all into the
crazy
ocean of Abu Dhabi. And also fish is a good example. I mean, we have a couple of caterings this weekend and I really needed the local wild mahi-mahi. And the guys called me and said, we didn't catch any last night. I said, okay, I got to do something else because they just didn't catch any last night.
Yeah.
And that's what will happen, is that type of stuff. But the flip side is that you also have to be very stubborn. I think maybe other people might be a tad bit more flexible and would much faster and much easier switch stuff in. I won't. I'm pretty stubborn.
Yeah.
And we'll go to pretty great lengths to keep what we can versus flipping easily, because you can either flip easily or you can be really, really, really stubborn and only flip under extreme requirements.
Right.
And so we try to really hold the line as much as possible.
That's amazing. All right. So for my last question, I want to ask, because obviously in your restaurant, the choices you make daily are very intentional, right? You have a goal and the food you source in all has a reason. So for someone attending an event like this, what are some changes that they can make also to their daily choices specifically when it comes to food that could also contribute to the work that you're doing as well?
I think one of the most common misconceptions about relating to being here at Emirates Biofarm and Organic Fest and the restaurants, one of the most common misconceptions is that we don't have a vibrant farm scene in the UAE. Yeah. We just grow dates and raise camels, and that's it, which is a terrible misconception, because we actually have an incredibly vibrant growing season that produces really incredible vegetables from November until May. And it's sort of similar to Europe. Like, Europe grows from April to October. Yeah. And they go cold and they go dark in the winter because everything dies down because it's frozen.
It's a matter of seasons.
It's a matter of an idea of not saying, oh, but you don't really have a growing season, you don't have seasonality. Well, we do. We have a mango season. We have, a berry season. We have, the corn's going to be harvested at a certain time. And so I think I've run into, so many fancy chefs, and I've said, wow, I grow these really incredible tomatoes with my farmers, and they go, oh, they don't taste like the ones from France. How many times have I heard statements like that? Yeah. And I just, changing people's perceptions, even chefs, is really, really important, because I think people think it doesn't taste as nice. It's not as, it's hard to get. It's again, just, date palms, like all that stuff we need to change people's understanding. Even the farmer's market, people don't come to the farmer's market because they think it's just going to be like some olive oil and some bread and whatnot, but it's actually really amazing. Right. I mean, the tomatoes that are at the farmer's market right now taste like candy.
Right. No, definitely. And that's why this event and also the SOMA MATER podcast is like, we're trying to bring this information to people directly. All right, Lash, I think that's all the questions I had. Thank you so much for your time. And we hope to see you around.
Yeah, thank you for having me.